JF Stretford Paddock, this is Paddock Live. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Joe Smith, which means we've got loads of hot topics to get through.
Yes.
We're talking about Zidane, Rodgers, Varane, Donny van der... Yes.
Well, what they do in training is up to them.
Donny van der Beek,
Yes.
Dean Henderson,
Yeah.
Diogo Dalot,
Yes.
and others.
Nice.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so get involved in the comments, get involved in the chat, hit that like button, and don't forget as well, if you're not doing, to subscribe to the channel. There's a link in the chat. Subscribe. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and with your help, we will do it. Now, Joe, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad, bro. Not too bad. Yeah. I feel like we're getting to a sort of... We went like that with managerial rumours and something happening. I feel like we've plateaued a little bit. I feel like it's going sort of, like, there's nothing really quite yet.
It feels like people wanted everything to be sorted really quickly, but then it's been established that it's going to take a little bit longer, and now we're starting to hear these longer term plans coming out. We're starting to hear what it might look like 6 to 8 months down the line rather than 6 to 8 hours like it seemed at one point. It
does feel like that, of course. Now, one of the men who's been linked with the Manchester United job.
All men so far.
All men so far. We've not had any, that's the sort of discrimination that goes on in the modern game. They need to look at that, exactly. I don't agree with that in the workplace. Zidane is one of the names that's being linked with the Manchester United job.
Yes.
Quite heavily.
Yeah.
And you can see there from the graphic that talks with Zidane, I think it was Christian Falk who was talking about this, who's quite reliable, isn't he? One of the more reliable journalists, a tier 1 journalist who've had him on the channel, was mentioning this fact so that, it looks like there has been some communication between Manchester United and Zinedine Zidane. However, it says there that, as you can see, that he doesn't feel like he's ready for the Premier League yet, or he doesn't want to, and would prefer a break. Let me just go ask you the basic question about Zidane. Would you have him at United? Is he sort of top of our list, but is he top of yours?
No, he's not first choice for me, but he's not. I wouldn't be sat there going, "Fuck's sake, what have they done that for?" Doesn't make any sense. I get it. I get why you would go for Zidane.
Yeah.
I understand it. I think he's a good manager. This whole thing of he's not ready for the Premier League yet, I think one thing about him is he's pretty clever in terms of his tactics of the jobs he takes, when he takes his jobs, and that sort of thing. I think he left after Ronaldo left, or he left when Ronaldo was leaving. Made sense. He came back when Real Madrid basically were desperate and they needed him, came back and won another league title, has kept his reputation relatively in check with the way he handled his going and then coming back to Real Madrid. I think he wants to do, and we said this before, he wants to do what Pep Guardiola's done. Successful at Barcelona, going to the biggest team in Germany after that, successful at Bayern Munich, even though really he didn't overachieve with Bayern Munich. He didn't do anything you wouldn't expect them to do. He didn't win a Champions League. I'm not even sure he got to a semi-final with them. So he didn't do anything amazing with them, but he kept winning trophies. Basically, I think, every season, he won the Bundesliga as he was expected to do, but he kept his cachet high because of the teams he chose to go to. Then he goes to the biggest club in England, or, at the time, the best club in England, not the biggest club.
About to say, have you been drinking?
But the team that's most successful in England, the team that it was easiest to win with. And I think Zidane is probably going to be look at that model and look at that sort of trajectory and thinking, I don't want to go from a relatively unblemished record at Real Madrid, 3 Champions Leagues back-to-back, unheard of, coming back, winning the league again with them, did very well there, to go to Man United where it's difficult and the manager's getting sacked. It's not like, I think after, I can't remember the name of the manager that Pep followed at Bayern Munich, but I think he just won a treble, hadn't he? So this was a team that was excellent, that wasn't in disarray. I can't remember his name now. No one expected him to win it, and he won it. Was it Jupp Heynckes? I think it might have been Jupp Heynckes. Anyway.
Yeah, it was Jupp Heynckes, because they had back-to-back Champions League finals.
Yeah.
Obviously, they lost the one to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Won the one, I think it was at Wembley, wasn't it, when they beat Dortmund in the final.
Yeah.
Pep goes in there, and as you say, I think they got to semis. I'm not sure. I know they didn't get to a final.
No, certainly not.
And that,
I think there was that stat that Pep's never got to a semi-final with anyone other than Messi in his team.
Right, sorry.
That was before. But anyway, I think Zidane looks at United and goes, this is a risk. And if I come in now, November is early enough in the season where you're still expected to do something. If he comes in now, he's expected to get top 4 without question. He's expected to get to the last stage of the Champions League because of his pedigree and his reputation. Whereas if he comes in at that's still a very difficult job to do. because we haven't started well, we aren't playing well. He has to turn a lot around to get us into those positions. So I think he maybe looks at United now and thinks it's not worth risking my reputation for the sake of how difficult this job is. At the end of the season, maybe, when he can have a fresh slate, he can have a summer to build his tactics, to build his team, he's probably got a better chance of doing that.
I think, I completely agree. I think he did get to semi-finals. He just didn't get to final. Actually, Pep, I know you're right. There's a stat. I think the stat was he hadn't got to a final without Lionel Messi. And you're right, because that was like, we've just got the Stockport County game on in the background if anyone cares, and they've just equalised against Bolton.
I don't think anyone cares.
Do they not?
I certainly don't.
Do you not?
Not really, do you?
It's slightly intriguing. I don't know whether it's... I remember when I was a kid, like, Stockport were in the second tier of English football, and everyone was like, there's quite a lot of people that like from Greater Manchester that had half an eye on him. They used to rival City in those ends.
That's true.
SK. It was either City or Stockport that most of the people from around that manor supported. Get involved in the comments and let us know what you think about Zinedine Zidane. It's a proper glamour appointment if he does come in it. It's like this sort of appointment where you get excited when it happens.
Yeah.
I don't think you can't help but get excited because it's Zinedine Zidane. And he's such an iconic figure, and like you say, won 3 Champions Leagues, an amazing player. Got that Gallic flair, that little bit of craziness as well that reminds you a little bit of Eric. He just feels, we've got Zidane, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Varane, we've got Zidane, we're going to win a lot. And obviously, he's inherited a team that me and you were talking the other day on a podcast, and you were naming that Real Madrid team, and it was ridiculously good. You had like just almost every position was just world class. Like from Marcelo or Ramos to Varane to
the only one you would say is he world class is Navas in goal.
Yeah.
And
no, that's a fair
3
comment.
saves to make.
But the other 10 were. So it's going to be difficult when he's going to work with some players that not just aren't that great anyway, but players that are good, that aren't playing well. Who knows? Another name on the hit list, if you can call it that, is Brendan Rodgers. Now, the latest noises are that whilst Zidane isn't keen, Rodgers is keen.
Of course he is.
He couldn't turn it down.
Because he's done now. Of course he's keen. I'm not knocking him as a manager, but him as a CV, you think he might not turn United down? Because he won a few trophies with Celtic when... some of which I don't think Rangers were even in the league, and then he won an FA Cup with Leicester.
Yeah.
I can't. You know what? I'm too big for you now. I failed at Liverpool. I failed at. No, he didn't fail at Swansea. He did all right at Swansea, but just like he's done all right everywhere he's gone. Hasn't overachieved anywhere, and he might find it difficult to turn United down. I couldn't resist it.
You say it. Brendan Rodgers is aware of the possible backlash from both Liverpool and United fans.
What?
Backlash, sorry. But he's decided that he couldn't turn down an approach from United. I mean...
Here's one for you, Jay. Yeah. I'm going to give you 20 million quid, but I'll give you a Chinese burn as well.
Yeah.
You know what? It might hurt a bit, that, so you know what? I won't. Of course he's going to get loads of money, manage a really good team, have a chance to win some trophies, and at a bigger club than he's ever managed in his life. He might struggle to turn it down. Shock horror.
Yeah, and also, things have gone a bit west, haven't they, at Leicester? I mean, they're struggling this season, like mid-table. I know they beat us, but that doesn't mean anything nowadays, does it?
Everyone beats us, pal.
Also aware of the possible backlash from both Liverpool. I mean, he's not going to be that bothered about United fans because once he's the manager, we're not just going to hate him whilst he's the manager. So that's going to be the thing, okay. And as for the Liverpool fans, what do you do?
They've got bigger fish to fry. They've got Benitez fish to fry when it comes to being a traitor.
Yeah, I don't think they're that bothered. Get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think. David R says, Jay asked Joe when his award-winning podcast is on.
Oh yeah, it's coming next week.
You've been saying that all your life. John B says...
When's your podcast come on? Or are you doing another podcast now for someone else? You do that many. Jay's doing a second podcast using just Morse code from his bum squeaking together. We'll put it on a text of voice.
Going out on the wireless on a certain frequency, and if you know, you know. Johnny Watson. Oh no, hang on a minute. Sorry, where is it? I've lost what I was. Joel Zapster says Moyes 2.0. I think he's talking about Brendan Rodgers there. Matthew Wiggins says Zinedine Zidane is a very difficult name to say, isn't it, Jay? I always get it wrong. I don't know why. John Beek said Rodgers is Moyes.
I think Rodgers has done, in terms of obviously trophies won. I think he's won more than Moyes, hasn't he? Which is something, having the ability to get over.
I would be a bit harsh though with the whole Celtic thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like he won the lot, but it's like, oh well, he won it all.
Back-to-back trebles. It's not easy to do that. I'm not having
I think
a go
the
in
sticks
terms
to beat him there would be the record in Europe wasn't great.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that that's no good. I'm saying it's not massively overachieving, is it?
No.
I think what was it, 9 in a row they ended up winning up until last season. I know he wasn't there when they lost it, but winning there's a time when you went to be Juventus manager, you win the league, or you went to be PSG manager, you win the league. You go to be Celtic manager, you win the league. That's just how it was. And obviously winning the treble is difficult, and they didn't just win back-to-back trebles every season. But it's not anything that makes you think he wouldn't leave his current club to join Manchester United. That was my point.
They went 63 domestic games, I think, unbeaten.
Cool.
That's not a real league, is it?
No.
That's not, is it?
No. That's a league that has been slashed to pieces by, Rangers being kicked out.
Just...
No. If you're going 63 games unbeaten, what is that? That's FIFA on semi-pro.
Do you know what I mean? And then you do all that, and you're not getting in the Champions League, and getting knocked out of the Europa League 3-0 on aggregate against Valencia.
Yeah, and it's not their fault that there was no competition.
And I'm not having a dig at Celtic. I like Celtic.
No, obviously.
I'm just, it's like when you look at that, it's difficult to say, oh, that shows he can be successful at United.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a one-horse race.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like
it was a one-horse race.
Yeah, like Rangers were either not at the races or just whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's done very well in a league that's basically only got one team in it. Mm-hmm. So it's difficult to measure him on that. Obviously Leicester, he's done well. Winning the FA Cup's great. Love that. Does that mean he's qualified for United? I'm not sure. I feel like we're hoping he's gonna sort of raise his abilities. It's like he's going to be better than he's been before. That's what worries me. Like he wasn't good enough at Liverpool to win the league with arguably the best team, but he will be good enough now to win the league with United with a team that's not as good as some of the other teams. And I think that is the problem we're expecting. Yeah. We're asking him to do something
You're asking
special.
him to keep developing, aren't you?
And no, don't get me wrong, it can happen. Like Thomas Tuchel, when he went to Chelsea, probably people didn't go, well, they're going to win the Champions League now. He wasn't a manager. He'd been sacked from PSG.
And also, Tuchel's one of those managers that when you actually look at his CV, I know he was well regarded and this kind of figure that people have heard about this guy. He was very much that kind of figure. But when you actually look at what he'd done, he'd never gone anywhere and done something you couldn't believe he'd done. No. Like he did all right at Dortmund. I think maybe won one cup. Certainly didn't win a league. Went to PSG, won 2 leagues back to back.
He had a reputation as well, didn't he? Being a bit of a bottler.
Yeah.
3-0 up against the Scousers.
Yeah.
Gets knocked out. He was at Europa.
Yeah.
2-0 up against us after the first leg at PSG. We win 3-2 on aggregate.
Yeah.
Like he had this reputation of being a bit like, oh, you can't truly trust him to get you over the line in big competitions, and then he wins the big one.
Yeah, exactly.
He wins the Champions League with a team that was underperforming under Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You can't rule it out.
No. Danny Shields in the super chat says the most obvious thing here is the ineptitude of the board and executive level.
That's true.
Other than Fergie, not a football fan involved. Never mind a United fan. I agree with that.
Yeah.
We all know that this just. It has been poor. It has been a shambles. The sort of the way that United is set up at the minute. Well, not at the minute since Fergie retired. To be honest with you, Anthony Jarvis says, "Let's cut the story short, lads. Rodgers is not the answer."
It might not be our answer, but by the sound of what we're reading, he might be the club's answer. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we don't get to pick the manager, and not that we necessarily know who the perfect person is. He's not particularly inspiring to us as fans, I don't think. No. But that doesn't mean he won't be the next United manager.
Cap says, being in Scotland, I watched Rodgers closely. That Celtic team were Asian and poor compared to past sides, but they played superb football under him, very well drilled. Yeah. I have to say that we were chatting to some guys from the Celtic podcast a few weeks ago. They came here to visit us, and they said the football under him was great. Yeah. They said he had a system. You could see what the players were doing. Yeah. And maybe that is the biggest sort of stick that's used to beat Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is there's a lack of a system, lack of style. Yeah. Brendan Rodgers could do that. He had it at Swansea, at Liverpool to a certain degree. Yeah. At Leicester it's changed a little bit. It's not quite the sort of the high press sort of that's defend from the front or whatever you want to call it that he had in previous teams. But he does have a style, so maybe, I don't know, maybe.
He does, but there's a lot of managers that have a style that don't win anything.
Yeah, that's
Style
true.
doesn't mean success, style means style.
No.
That's it.
And we need success, don't we? Yeah. We need trophies. We don't need, okay, nice football would be great, but we haven't won a trophy since 2017.
No, exactly.
And we need to rectify that sort of, that problem.
There are plenty of managers that don't have any style that win trophies, and there are plenty of managers that do have style that win no trophies. Yeah. It's trying to find the balance. The problem at the moment is the team's winning everything, happen to have managers that have a distinctive and well-drilled style. But that's not always the case, and that hasn't always been the case. I suppose as football's gone on, the amount of trophies won by managers that don't have a distinct style has lessened, but it's still not zero, and there are still plenty of managers, as I said, with a real strong, here's where you stand, here's what you do, who win fuck all.
I agree. Do you know what?
Go on.
It's nearly Christmas, isn't it?
What day is it?
Okay.
17th of November. What, 6 weeks?
Oh, well. Ho, 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 gentlemen.
Here we go.
Hey? The holidays have come early this year as Manscaped.
You've said that before, haven't you?
That's none of your business. That's
Walking into a locker room or two.
That's what they call them, locker rooms.
In America, where you do it, does it?
Manscaped have the gift that keeps on trimming. It's a bit of a stretch, that, and it's instead of giving, say trimming. Do you reckon? Does that work? The gift that keeps on trimming?
No.
It doesn't work, does it?
Not really, no.
Okay. Anyway, Santa's beard isn't so appealing when it's coming out your trousers.
No.
And especially if it's white.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Why
Yeah.
is all your pabs white?
Yeah, why is he down there
do you know what I
anyway?
mean?
Why is Santa's face down your
That's put an
trousers?
image in my mind of Father Christmas.
Quite literally notching me off.
And that's why. And
I call it Santa's grotto, Jay.
Oh, Santa's gritty.
Nice! Carry on!
And that's why Manscaped, straight Matt, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have you covered this holiday season. Now available in your country. Join the 4 million men worldwide, and that is literally every man in the world, according to my maths, who trust Manscaped to keep their trees trimmed and ornaments polished. Yeah?
Go to manscaped.com and use the code PaddockLive for 20% off and free trimming. Free shipping.
Free trimming?
That's better.
You don't get free trimming. You got to do your own trimming.
Paddock Live, there you see it in the
it.
bottom corner down there. 20% off and free shipping, use the code PaddockLive. Here's what you can get. You get the performance package. Now in there, we're getting the Weed Whacker, which is the ear and nose hair trimmer.
I need all that, mate.
Yeah? You get the 9,000 RPM motor with that as well, yeah? You also
Dual
get...
blade system, bro.
Dual blade system. You also get... You tell me, what am I describing here?
Oh, are you talking about the Lawnmower 4.0?
Just a bit, mate.
You get all that, don't you?
Can I tell you something? This is true.
Yeah.
I used the Lawnmower 4.0 to shave my back stairs yesterday.
Yeah.
And can I tell you something? And this is something that, it doesn't say this on there, what we're reading. You won't hear this from everyone. 2 things happen when you do that.
Yeah.
First of all, you save a lot of money on toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because I noticed it was getting caught in the thicket. Yeah?
Yeah. And the second thing that
You ever
happens,
smeared peanut butter on a dog's back, Jay?
obviously.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to get it out using tissue paper, let
Yeah.
me tell you.
Right.
If you shave that dog,
Yeah.
then you smear peanut butter on
Yeah.
it, you can get it off much more easily.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying? Also, farts way louder, dead funny.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's one of the benefits of using it, which
So
I do.
louder farts is, if anything, that should be the main selling point.
Yeah.
So you also get the refined cologne. So if you don't want to smell with his farts, you can have the refined cologne, and it's got hyperallergenic ingredients that are vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, and paraben-free. What's paraben?
Yeah.
What is it?
Excuse me?
Yeah, okay. So that's 20% off and free shipping with the code PaddockLive at manscaped.com.
Link in the description. Click it, sort it out. Christmas is here. Buy it for your boyfriend. Buy it for yourself. Whoever you're doing, just buy it.
You could buy it for yourself and wrap it up and pretend like...
Oh, what's this?
Hey, he's got me this.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't it nice? Back in a sec. Right, what's
Right.
next, Jay?
Varane.
Oh, here we go.
Raphael Varane.
Yeah.
Now, me and you stood over there, right? With that bit in
wait.
the studio.
That's just a mirror.
Yeah.
That's not actually us stood over there.
We stood over there months ago
Oh, sorry.
talking about Varane coming to United. The one worry we had was injuries.
Yeah.
Not injury prone, but he does miss a bit of the season.
We were told, Jay, but he hasn't got injured recently. Don't get injured anymore.
And he has been getting injured, hasn't he? And we need him in. Apparently, though, he's back in 2 weeks. It says there Varane's recovery is on track. The United star shared a photograph of himself working hard in the gym at Carrington on Tuesday. He's expected to be a couple of weeks away from returning.
Not bad, is it?
We need him.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, right, with Varane, what annoys me about this argument when you say it is like, you say, we're missing Varane. People go, we shouldn't be missing Varane.
Yeah.
But Varane's one of the best players in the world. Yeah,
But we should be able to play without him.
Yeah, I'm not saying we shouldn't be able to play without him, but he's probably our best defender.
What are you saying, Maguire can't defend? Is 80 million quid? It's like, no. He's good. I want him to play for Manchester United. There's no secondary argument here.
No.
Yeah.
It's like any team would miss Varane.
Yeah, exactly.
He's that good. He's one of the best defenders on the planet. And it would be good for United if he was playing for us. So we are going to miss him. And it does me when people go, no, we've got other options. We've got a guy cost 80 million.
But that's Twitter.
Victor Lindelof done. Like,
that's Twitter, though. As I said to you so many times, Twitter is, you're wrong and here's why. That's all every reply is to every tweet ever. You can say something innocuous like, United would be better if Varane was playing. We miss him. And like you said, shouldn't 80 million quid's worth of Maguire bill to make up for it? What about Victor Lindelof, who plays for Sweden? That's not what we're saying.
No.
We are better when better players play for us, and he's our best centre-back.
It's probably the least controversial statement you can make, but somehow people still find controversy from it. Danny Shields in the Super Chat says, as Rennie Merlinstein said, Fergie's tactical approach was 4 words on a flip chart. Pace, power, penetration, unpredictability. Fergie had many systems in his time, but these were the principles for all.
Exactly, and not every manager, look at Zidane. Yes, he's obviously got tactics. Fergie had tactics, but he doesn't have that sort of formulaic kind of here's what you do when you have the ball and you don't do anything else type play that we see from certain managers. Some managers don't work like that and still have success.
100%. 100% agree with everything you've just said. So he's back in 2 weeks, but it's important we don't rush him back as well, because we could be tempted to go, he looks like he's fit, get him in, and then he injures himself again. We need to take our time with him because obviously there's been rumours and stories that maybe we rushed him back a little bit, and obviously don't want to do that again. Should we go on to players that look like they could be on the way out, or want to leave, or could be leaving, or have had interest from other clubs? Starting with everyone's favourite, Donny van der Beek. You love Donny van der Beek, don't you?
Which one's he again?
He's the one who got blonde hair,
midfielder,
came on against Atalanta and produced the best performance in the history of association football.
Darren Fletcher?
Yes. Most likely to be a low move there, it says. Speaking to Rio Ferdinand's 5-channel, Romano, that's Fabrizio Romano, explained that Everton are still interested in Donny van der Beek, along with some Spanish clubs. Not Real Madrid, though. Why would anyone go on Rio Ferdinand's 5-channel? You've got to be a right loser to go on there, aren't you? Imagine going on there, making videos with Rio Ferdinand.
Jealous.
No. What? What? Go on it. Steve wants to lower his standards by going on that with, the second best defender ever. Pathetic.
Who's the best defender ever?
Stan. No, so Romano says there that Everton are still interested. That's been going on for a while, hasn't it, Everton? Seems to be a little bit of fire to that smoke. They want him. Looks like a low move for him. He's going to want to play for Holland in the World Cup. He isn't getting anywhere near the Dutch team at a minute because Louis van Gaal prefers players that play for the clubs, bizarrely.
They've qualified, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Louis van Gaal, we'll come back to this, obviously. It's very, very brief. I'm actually glad he's doing well. I like Louis van Gaal. I hope if England don't win the World Cup, I hope Holland do. Or Portugal with Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I know.
I like him.
In Stockholm, Louis van Gaal got mobbed by United fans.
Yeah.
He's
a very likeable bloke, though, isn't he? He's a bit odd, he's a bit eccentric, but he seems like a nice guy.
There's little things like, he's one of those that he stands up like the test of time because you can almost forget about how bad the football was. And look, we won the FA Cup. He gave Marcus Rashford his debut.
Arguably the biggest trophy we've won since Sir Alex left.
Well, it is. You're right. Then you look back at some of the comments he made, like, about pulling your hair in sex masochism.
And him falling over on the floor and all that.
And all that. Like even the sort of the leaving the press conference earlier.
And then him who flashed his knob and bollocks to one of the players in training, in the dressing room, to show how much of a man he was. Just got his dick out.
You just made all that up. Is that what you did on a tour of the dressing room? Is that why you're banned from Old Trafford now?
Not allowed in the museum either.
Anyway.
I said, what, 2 Champions Leagues? How about 2 fantastic bollocks? That's what I said, and got them out. All shined up and sprayed silver they were.
Lovely. So Romano's been telling Rio all that jazz. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think of Donny van der Beek. Very popular player amongst United fans.
Yes.
It would seem.
It makes sense to me, they've done it, that he's going to go.
Sweaty Ollie Legend says, LVG football was the worst I've seen. I agree. I think you can just look back. People can look back at it and go, you know what? It wasn't great.
But in terms of liking the man, you win an FA Cup, you've got some cachet, haven't you?
Yeah, and also it's that memory of the football that makes you think, it was right for him to go, even though Jose wasn't a complete success. He did win some trophies.
He did.
And I personally couldn't have put up with another year out football. Right, should we move on from Donny van der Beek?
Yeah, I think he'll go. And I think a loan makes the most sense because let's say that Ollie isn't the manager at the start of next season, which I don't think many people think he will be. He might get another chance. I'm
sick of talking about midfielders that want out of this club. Let's talk about something else.
Paul Pogba.
Exactly. So then we go. Romano also says, you see, that's why we work well together.
It's like Morecambe and Morecambe's mate.
Morecambe and Scarborough. Romano reports it's too early to decide. Raiola has reportedly said it's early to decide on an extension. Paul Pogba is not deciding right now on his contract. It is unlikely to have an answer soon. Mino Raiola, who, he's usually...
Sorry, go on, sorry.
He's usually quite quiet on quite reserved on the Paul Pogba front. He doesn't really like to say anything, but now he's apparently been speaking about him, and he's basically said nothing.
If I said to you, Jay, you've got 6 years to make a decision, yeah?
Yeah.
And 5.5 years into that 6 years, you went too early to decide. I would say, what the fuck, mate? What do you mean? You are, 11/12ths into the time allotted to make this decision? It's still too early to decide.
It reminds me, right, of Donald Trump a week before the next election.
Yeah, not the first one, the second one.
The second one saying, I've got a plan for healthcare,
and
I'm going to tell you what it is next week.
Yes. What have you been doing for the last 4 years? All sorts.
Stuff.
Just shitting loads.
Do you know what I mean?
It's too early to... I'm afraid it's too early to decide. In 1 month or 5 weeks, he can agree to join another club. That's how late it is, Jay.
I can't be rushed into these decisions. Yeah. You can't expect me to just be able to just come out of this within 5.5 years.
Exactly.
So it's
unbelievable,
early, which is quite ludicrous.
If I gave you 60 seconds, Jay, to just say one word, yes or no, and you took till there was 10 seconds left, it's too early.
Too early.
You've had 50 seconds, man.
I don't like being pressured.
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me.
Do you want gravy with you Sunday dinner?
Listen, it's too early to say. All right. Speak to my agent. He's going to talk to you about
Jay, you've eaten all of your dinner. I know, but I don't know if I want gravy on the last mouthful.
Gravy or don't want gravy? It's a very good question. Is there any other gravy that's available?
Yeah.
That's another question.
What's this? Beef gravy? Do you have an onion gravy?
Yeah, exactly.
That plays in black and white stripes in Italy.
Nice. Raiola, Pogba, that'll rumble on. And it's too early to tell. But I think we'll be stood here in the year 2037 going, is Paul Pogba settled at United? Shall we move on to someone who I quite like?
Can I guess who it is?
Go on.
Simon Cowell.
I don't mind Simon Cowell, even though his face is melting.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, but when I met him, he was nice.
Sorry, when did you meet him?
I interviewed him.
Oh, you did the preliminary rounds, didn't you?
I went
one of
on
those
there,
people that was
and
like,
I played my spoons, played me out on them spoons, and I got 3 buzzers.
Did you?
Scum, subhuman scum. I interviewed him once ahead of Britain's Got Talent or X Factor, I don't know. They're all the same, aren't they? And he was quite nice. He told his PR woman to go away when she tried to drag him off, which I quite liked.
That's nice.
He went, it's all right.
Do you know what I bet he does? I bet he does. So let's say you've got 10 minutes with him.
Yeah.
I bet he goes.
It was like a minute.
I bet he goes though. If it is, let's say it's 10 minutes. I bet he goes. Come over after 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Tell me we have to leave, and I'll fucking
go.
I'll
go. No, this is okay.
How to make yourself look like a good guy.
Yeah. It worked because now I'm a fully fledged member of the Simon Cowell fan club. Brigade. Even if his face is melting, I don't care.
Yeah.
I still love him. He had lovely soft hands. Anyway,
Did
that's
he?
a different story. Yes. But talking of soft hands, Diogo Dalot. Jose wants him.
What do you mean talking of soft hands?
I don't know. This is just the worst sort of segue ever. I have no idea whether Diogo Dalot has soft hands or not. He might have rough hands. His hands might be like sandpaper. They might be proper rough. I've no idea.
All we know is that his hands might well be signing on the dotted line in January.
Because what happened with Diogo Dalot, he had such a great time at United when Jose was here. When Jose signed him and then refused to use him almost ever.
Over a 33-year-old Antonio Valencia and a 32-year-old Ashley Young.
Diogo Dalot now thinks, what I need is some more of that in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any game time here. I want to go to the other manager who didn't used to play me, Jose Mourinho. So it says here, it's true that Roma want Diogo Dalot. Jose Mourinho wants Dalot again after bringing him to Manchester United when he was in charge. Mourinho wants to try for Dalot in January. Now, regardless of what's gone on before...
Sorry, just a sec. Cam, says who? Romano.
Yeah.
Okay, just getting a source on that, sorry.
Yeah, a source for producer Cam. It kind of makes sense, though, for me, in a way, because sort of pilfering players from Manchester United when you're an Italian manager or a manager in Italy tends to work. Antonio Conte basically won Serie A off the back of it.
Young. Sanchez, Lukaku.
Where did Damian go?
Yep.
Yeah, no, right. I don't know. Yeah.
Can't remember. To be honest, there's a point where
not
someone...
just there.
Oh, go on.
Roma, Chris Smalling went to Roma and did really well. It's like...
Got in the FIFA Team of the Year
Yeah,
for the
it's
Italian
like
League.
the sort of, the levels are so different that
Yeah.
if you're a fringe player at United, chances are you can go to Italy and do quite well.
Yeah.
Within reason, of course. It's not sort of guarantee. So I wouldn't be surprised if Delo went to Roma. The thing with Delo, right, is I like the guy, you know, we've spoke to him sort of via messages and stuff on Insta. He's a good guy, but was it the Villarreal game?
Yeah,
where
Old Trafford.
it was as bad a performance by a fullback as I've seen in a long time.
I can't remember who it was against. Remember that game where Memphis Depay just destroyed that fullback?
Yeah.
It was up there with that in
It
terms
was
of like Old Trafford.
One of those ones,
defensive destroying.
where when he was getting the ball,
Yeah.
you could hear the attacker, not Delo, obviously. Like, oh God, here we go again. I felt for him. And I was like, oh, this is horrible to watch because he's just getting absolutely hammered time and time and time again. So that is quite worrying as well because, you know, the indications are that he's probably not cut out for the levels that we need.
Yeah, and this is, you know, the second manager that's managed him now.
Thank you. I think Ian Pilkinson says Darmian went to Sampdoria, I think.
Yeah, he's never really got himself as a first team, even like backup really. You know, he is backup now, but we don't rotate. You know, some positions, you look at the midfield where Matic will come in whenever, and Pogba and Fred and McTominay, we rotate in those. It's not even a rotation position, really, is it?
Sorry to interrupt. Darmian, 22, Darmian went to Parma and then Inter, Ross Murphy, Darmian at Inter Milan. Right, anyway, get the point.
Did we sell him to Inter?
I don't know. I can't remember. Danny Shields says, speaking of rough calluses, here's Sonia with the weather. Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, so... I mean, I think with Delo, he's like a player that... Well, you know, I know.
I like it.
Yeah, it's right with your street, isn't it? If he goes to go, you're going to go, all right, then that's not really a massive loss. We wish him well. And if he doesn't, it's like, okay, then it's another option.
And it kind of gives us a chance to either bring Ethan Laird through, if he's deemed to be of the right quality, or go for a more attacking right back that isn't
very well
Diogo Dalot, who might actually get a chance. But yeah, Laird hopefully can be the next guy.
It looks like it. I think with Delo as well, sometimes people sort of go, he's amazing going forward and that makes up for his faults at the back. And he's all right going forward, but he's not very good defensively. And I don't think it balances it out. I don't think he's that good going forward that you can put up with what he does at the defensively. No. It's not like an Aaron Wan-Bissaka situation where you go, he's that good defensively usually. I know he's not exactly in the form of his life. Yeah. That you can stomach the fact he's not great going forward. Yeah. It isn't that level. No. So, yeah, we'll see. Dean Henderson.
Oh, here we go.
Now, a few months ago, this guy looked like he was on course to be United's #1. And now it's all gone Pete Song,
COVID.
as they say. Yep. Henderson wants to leave permanently, according to 90 Minutes. I mean, we've heard these rumblings before, haven't we, with Dean Henderson? Apparently, thought this season was going to be his season, where he was going to be #1. Got COVID. De Gea came in and refound his form.
Up until the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's not been great, but he's been okay.
A couple of stinkers, though, hasn't
he? Yeah, he has. And now Dean Henderson is just like, you know what, I can't be bothered waiting around. Yeah. He's quite young for a keeper, and he's 24.
23, 24, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be reluctant to let him leave permanently, mate. Yeah, if we've got a choice in the matter, I'd just let him go on another loan. Yeah. Because I still think there's a question mark over David De Gea.
Yeah, me too. And he's been good, David De Gea, but only for, 12 games?
Yeah.
And then, was it the Atalanta game? The ball went straight at him from the edge of the box. It just goes underneath him, literally down the centre of the goal. Not a particularly hard shot, and he just falls under. It just goes underneath him. Terrible goalkeeping. The Bernardo Silva one, you can maybe say, we weren't expecting him to get the touch, but you're at your near post. The ball hits you in the chest. You can't let that go in. No. Especially against Man City, you have to be more switched on than to just let the ball go in. I understand Shaw and Maguire fucked up first, but that doesn't mean you get just a free goal given against you. So he has had a couple of clangers in the last sort of 10 days. And again, you're looking at the last 2 years of De Gea, the sort of the natural projection would be we may see more of those clangers rather than just 40 games from now to the end of the season of being how he was for all those years. The problem with Henderson, I feel bad. He's very much a victim of outside influences, isn't he? Because by the sound of it, he had long COVID where he was ill and quite badly ill for quite a while. It took a couple of months, I think, to even get back in training after he had COVID, which is obviously very severe. I don't know what the long-term sort of problems are with that, but there's anything from heart problems to lung and liver and basically any organ can be affected to any degree. So who knows how fit he's been. He hasn't really been given a chance, but you know, I can't really say I'm surprised. De Gea was playing so well, like you mentioned, and he's not been fit through pre-season. So I feel a bit bad for him in that regard.
Do you wonder whether some of these players are sort of waiting to see what happens manager-wise?
Oh, definitely.
Because I'd be a bit, if I was Dean Henderson, thinking another manager could quite easily come in and go, I want a keeper who's going to come off his line and shout at his defenders and clear the ball properly. Yeah. And I don't care how many good at shot stopping De Gea is, he doesn't do any of that.
Well, when Maram came in, I'm sure a lot of you seen that video where we were talking about what's going wrong at United, should be in again soon. But she was saying how David De Gea, as good as he's been, and this was before the mistakes against Atalanta and City, he brings essentially nothing to building out from the back. He doesn't do anything that is above and beyond. He's not an option. He will pass it, but he'll only ever pass it to Maguire, or for the large majority of the time, he just gives it to Maguire because he's the best on the ball. Someone like Henderson, like you said, much more confident on the ball, much more confident in tight spaces, much more confident at coming out and claiming crosses, something De Gea never does. Like you said, I would not be surprised if he sat there thinking, De Gea might not be here after Christmas. But I've still got 3 years left of my contract, whatever it is. Bide your time. And people always talk like, oh, footballers don't think like that. Footballers are just humans. Yeah. They are thinking, De Gea's not looking, they'll be thinking, Solskjaer's not on solid ground at the moment. He could easily be gone in 6 months. Let's wait and see. I would not be surprised if he tried that at all.
No, I wouldn't either. I think it kind of makes sense. So if I was Dean Henderson, I'd wait and see what happens. Yeah. And even if Solskjaer stays, it's still not guaranteed that David De Gea keeps his place, because Solskjaer's dropped him once before. Yeah. He'll do it again. Yeah. If he thinks David De Gea is going to cost him points or cost him his job, and he makes more clangers. He makes a clanger at Watford, which he did a couple of seasons ago at Watford, do you remember? If he does that again, then... No. Do you not remember?
No, I don't.
Oh, there was, I can't remember.
There was, I mean,
Troy
Deeney or someone? There's so many.
Yeah, no, there isn't.
There
isn't. Remember, like when there was a time when you could name like David De Gea's mistakes on one hand, and now it's like I've struggled to fit all those mistakes he's made just this season on one hand, and I don't like slagging him off because he's had a lot of stick, and he has been playing well overall this season, but he's still got one in him, and it's like that's got to play in all his mind, especially.
And again, that's one of the things that if you're the style of goalkeeper that David De Gea is, you have to not make saving mistakes. If you aren't offering anything on the floor, you aren't offering anything in the air, you have to be immaculate at shot stopping. Because otherwise, what are you bringing?
Also, Tom Greenwell makes a good point here. You need to judge who you keep as the goalkeeper over a larger body of work, not a handful of mistakes. If neither David De Gea or Endo make us feel comfortable, then it's both who should be sold. There's still that. That's a good point. There's still a third option of someone else. It's not like you've got, if both keepers are up to scratch, we're stuck with them forever. No, you can go out. We spent a lot of money on a lot of players. We could go out and buy a goalkeeper. Abdullah Ibrahim says, Henderson's ability to come off the line will allow us to play with a high defensive line, allowing for better pressing and adds confidence to centre-backs. It seemed like that's what we were trying to do. It seemed like that was all his new thing.
That's what I'm saying. I honestly think it's the COVID thing. Yeah. I genuinely think he was going to be first choice. Yeah. If he hadn't have been seriously ill with COVID and having seemingly relatively long-term effects of it, I think he would be our first choice. I don't think De Gea would have had the chance to start the season the way he did.
No.
I really don't.
I agree with all that. Should we move on to something else? Protest arrests. Right, I'm just going to talk about this briefly. Yeah. You've probably seen the pictures doing the rounds on Twitter. Police arrest 10 United fans over protest. Police have arrested and raided the homes of 10 Manchester United fans due to their alleged involvement in the violent protest. Violent protest is, what the words that were used in the report there, not ours. Witnessed at Old Trafford in May. I mean, this just seems like proper OTT, flying through people's doors because they went onto a football pitch. And you can have your opinion on it, but that's mine. I just think you should be out nicking nonsense and people are not football fans who walked on a football pitch because they're unhappy with the fact the owners are decimating our club. Yeah, that's my opinion on that.
And again, the violent thing there, like you said, that's the report. That's not. I didn't see any violence. No. I was there.
We were at not on the pitch, but we were at the protests, and it was like it was just a bit of lads having a laugh. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I tell you, I saw some violence.
6 months later.
There's the videos of coppers smacking the hell out of a fan. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he got punished for that. It's just like, really? And it's plastered on like it's, some sort of glorious triumph by Greater Manchester Police.
6 months to get a few people who didn't do anything.
Dawn raids on people that were on a football pitch. I mean, come on, there's bigger fish to fry than that, to be honest with you. And I think it's just proper been blown out of proportion. Yeah. We'll wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, listen, we're not condoning violence or saying that you should go out and start kicking off whatever. But those protests weren't violent. We was at those protests. You had 10,000, I think, fans there, a handful of arrests, and now it's still going on 6 months later, where it's being painted as this picture of violent United fans running amok and causing havoc and all this nonsense, and it's just not the case at all. Anyway, that's my opinion
I
on
agree
it.
with you completely.
Good lad. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks to Manscaped as well for sponsoring the channel. Make sure you go and check out there. You can see Paddock Live is the code. 20% off and free shipping. Joe, where can people find you?
Smith93 on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Find you, Jay.
People can find me in Eccles via Weast.
Good lad.
The place to be. Yes. If you're not doing, go and check out all the other videos. Go and check out his video on Brendan Rodgers and his video on Zinedine Zidane. Very good. Give you a bit of a sort of brief oversight of what those managers could bring to Manchester United. Worth checking out. And we'll be back. I'm back in the morning with the news, and we'll have the preview tomorrow, won't we?
Yes.
And we'll have House's Brew with a very special guest all the way from the Big Apple. And me and him and our special guest will be on the watch along for the Watford game as well. So this has been Paddock Live. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay Moy. Thanks for watching.